Hi everyone, welcome to Delta Staffing, the only channel that brings you up-to-date job postings. Please do not forget to subscribe, to like, turn on the notification, and let me know what you think in the comment section. There are two job postings today from Netflix, which is a very familiar organization within our channel. We've actually posted jobs in the past with Netflix. Today we have two job requirements with Netflix. The first one being a program manager and the next one being a product manager. Please join me as we review these two job requirements together. Without wasting much of your time, let's jump into the first Netflix requirement of the day. This should be for program manager level 4, level 5, sitting within the developer education business unit. And just trying to see if I can summarize this a little bit. So a program manager who would actually, be the liaison between the engineering team and the learning and development team, be it e-learning or in-class learning, compliance learning, and all of that, who would actually lead or champion the cause of ensuring that the technical learning strategy is well integrated with the overall employee learning journey at Netflix, right? So it goes further to state here that our mission is to help all Netflix engineers, scientists, and solution developers be as informed and proactive as possible by ensuring they have access to curated knowledge, education, and support resources when and where they need them. So, for example, coming from a development background, I can tell you that I've been deeply involved in the COE's development of, education materials for developers, for a wide variety of, other resources, be it, technical architect developers, QA resources, and even onboarding resources, people who actually pick up the implemented product and train the end users on how to use them. So for example, I will pick up kind of a development guide where the developers need to, refer to or need to attend maybe a week of boot camp to actually learn how to do development from a coding perspective based on what is being designed and based on what is required from a Netflix standpoint. Things like developers making sure that there is no hard-coded records, no hard-coded, IDs, making sure that their code supports bulkification. For example, when you want to do a manual data load, it supports that, making sure that you can actually query for debugs instead of doing a full debug. You can do a partial debug to actually get what failed and what did not fail. Making sure that, you don't necessarily put a socle inside a for loop, those kind of best practices, right? So just making sure that things are done the right way. Of course, I come from a development background, so I'm boring you with my development best practices, but of course, there are other best practices and other education material. It does not necessarily have to be just around development and coding. It could be about safety in workplace and vice versa, those kind of educational material. So this program manager is actually going to champion the process of creating educational materials that would actually help a resource to actually develop in terms of their skill set. Just to buttress that it does not necessarily have to be within the development industry. It could just be best practices. It could be something very functional, right? So jumping into this, they say we're looking for two program managers to join our team. Program manager 5 with depth expertise in onboarding and developer education. Program manager 4 with breadth experience in developer education. Right. I'm just going to skip through this and go to what is being expected of you on a daily basis. So you're expected to drive vision, strategy, and operation of our technical onboarding and continuing education effort across Netflix engineering. You're also required to partner with internal and external program managers, instructional designers, technical writers, and facilitators for developer education program execution. You're going to be fostering a culture of learning that promotes inclusion and diversity in our team, interactions, and learning models. Right. So again, remember they talked about developer education. It does not necessarily have to be within a developer space, a developer from a coding perspective. So topics like inclusion and diversity in workplace interactions, and of course, other best practices from an investment standpoint, if you're covered or you're not covered, or doing things that actually is in contrast to your employment details, right? So those are types of educational materials that would be published. And of course, a learning part would be set for each of those employees, and they have to go and finish those compliant courses. So those are the kind of courses that they're talking about here. Develop strong partnership with emerging talent, our engineering domains, and support teams to create continuous feedback loops to ensure we solve the most impactful problems, right? I'm just going to skip through the rest. Your experience must include or demonstrate strong leadership or technical education program through setting of vision and strategy, and a track record of successful execution, producing positive outcomes. Design and implementation of diverse learning formats and blended instructional methods. The ability to navigate diverse stakeholder groups, forming and sustaining successful partnership by influencing up, down, and across. Creating and maintaining a learning culture that amplifies the organization's potential. So I'm just going to skip through this and go straight to the salary expectation for this role. So this is a very wide range in terms of salary. If you see it here, the overall market range for role in this area of Netflix is typically between $100,000 to $700,000. What this tells me is they are open to a wide range of experience, meaning they're open to someone with few years of program management experience, and they're also open to someone with a vast program, a lot of years in terms of program management. Of course, 100 to 700,000 can, deciding factor as to how much you're getting paid could also be your location, even though it's a remote position, it could also be your location. But like I've always said on this channel, do not forget to negotiate. Negotiate, negotiate, negotiate. Always negotiate your salary because you're bringing something to the table. This is not a common skill set. This is a rare skill set, program management. So always feel free to negotiate. Ask for shares and of course a one-time sign-on bonus, and also understand what your performance-based bonus is in terms of your band or your level. Those are always good questions to ask. And with that being said, that's it about the program manager level 4, level 5 developer education, which is a remote job requirement within Netflix. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if you would like to have a one-on-one session with you on how to apply for this job, and even how to go about getting this job, what you need to do and what you do not need to do. And also keep an eye on this channel because I would be talking very soon about people who've applied to jobs but have not been able to get those jobs, either because you're not getting interviews or you're not, acing your interviews. Please let me know in the comment section. Now let's jump to the second job requirement within Netflix, which is going to be a product manager, Netflix technology services. So if you've been paying attention to this channel, I think by now you all know what or who a product manager is, right? So a product manager is really someone who has a vast knowledge when it comes to that product. And product doesn't necessarily have to be something you can touch. It could also be a service. So someone who has a vast knowledge about that particular product, from how it was formed, the roadmap from inception to go live of that product, understands how multiple business units actually use that product. It could be a one way, it could be, different ways of implementing that product for multiple business units. So that's a product manager, someone who has a vast knowledge about a product, and of course mostly from a business standpoint, and the product manager will work with a business analyst to actually write stories, groom those stories, refine those stories, make sure that the requirement that they're trying to achieve is actually documented in the stories as an acceptance criteria. And of course, work with the developers to test what the developers have built and actually sign off on the product. So they are the go-to resources in making sure that requirement from a product perspective is being met. So here it says we're looking for a product manager to join the team and help build our next generation of enterprise applications. In this role, you will own and manage a portfolio of enterprise products, lead product strategy, and drive outcomes. You will need to be creative and solve business problems with technical and socio-technical skills. This person is also expected to have a keen eye for product design and cross-functional collaborate with designers, engineers, and stakeholders to build a scalable and secure product. So just like I mentioned before, if you're actually someone who's used to the Scrum methodology, or you've worked within a Scrum team before and you want to get into product management, feel free to actually apply to this role. Again, a product manager is someone who actually sits within the Scrum team. And when the Scrum team are actually writing out, the business analysts are writing out user stories, the product manager is really someone who would manage the implementation of that product. They will tell you, okay, this is how this business unit does business when it comes to using this product, right? So writing out the user stories, they would explain what their business use cases are, the way their business processes runs. And by that, we would understand their pain point and of course, ideal state. So pain point would be what the application is not doing as of today, or is not robust in. And their ideal state is where they want to be when that product actually goes live, right? So by you understanding those two processes, you're going to also understand their pain point. And of course, the Scrum team, which comprise of developers, technical architect, technical lead, solutions architect, will go sit down and do a gap analysis. And based on that gap analysis, they form what I call a solution synopsis. So these are all business requirements that are being turned into a solutioning standpoint. Those are now documented as user stories, persona-based user stories, and of course run by the product manager. The product manager will say, okay, this is correct, this is not correct, you missed this, you missed that. I would like this to be added. I would like this small piece of the implementation to be added. So just making sure that MVP, minimum viable product, is accounted for. When all those are being documented, they would be stored in backlog. Whether you're using Microsoft Azure, Jira, whatever, it's going to be stored in the backlog. And based on priority, which will also be set by the product manager, they would bring different user stories into the current sprint and assign to developers. Developers will work on them. When everything is being migrated to the UAT instance or any testing instance, then the product manager or product owner would go in there, test it, sign off, or send it back to development if all requirements are not met. I think I just did a brief summary of the entire role of a product manager slash product owner. So if you think this is something within your skill set, or you've been within a scrum team playing this role or something close to this, please feel free to apply to this job. Responsibilities will be to quickly develop a deep understanding of enterprise products you will own and lead. Remember, I just mentioned that they would have an in-depth understanding of the product from inception to go live. Create a product roadmap and work closely with stakeholders and engineering teams to deliver new product and feature enhancement. Manage product from concept to launch, which is what I said in inception to go live. Delivering features iteratively to solve the business challenges before you. Remember, I talked about sprint. So sprint is an agile way of saying we break things into different priorities and build it within a period of 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and it's being done iteratively. Have a deep understanding and empathy for customer needs using user research and creative feedback mechanism to validate product hypotheses and optimal product solutions. And just jumping to the requirements, you're expected to have had a bachelor's degree, 4 years of product management experience leading consumer enterprise products, analytical approach to problem solving, outstanding written and verbal communication skills, ability to balance short-term goals and long-term visions. And again, here, the market range for this role in this area of Netflix is typically around $100,000 to $700,000, just as the last posted requirement. So this is a very wide range that you can negotiate. So always feel free to negotiate. Ask for a one-time sign-on bonus. Know what your band or your level is. Understand the performance-based bonus assigned to that band or level. Ask for shares if they offer it, and really negotiate your salary to where you are comfortable. You don't want to get your legs or your foot in before you start negotiating salaries. At that point in time, you've already cheated yourself. So always negotiate at the very beginning or during the interview phase. And with that being said, this is all for this week's job requirement. Of course, it was from Netflix. Please let me know what you thought about this job posting. Let me know if you would like a certain kind of job posting in a particular industry. Let me know if you would like a one-on-one session or a resume review session in the comment section, and I would set up some time with you. Until then, remain blessed. Bye.